back with Bill Larkin again. Just as a reminder, he's the Managing Director of Technology Advisory Services here at Sikich, and he's the author of the Change Management Planning portion of our guide. So, Bill, unfortunately, more often than not, companies don't spend as much time on change management planning as they should. Why is this such a big mistake?
There's three critical components to any project like this that we do, and we've talked about prior to this the importance that we have to align what we're trying to do with the business. What business problem are we truly solving with this technology project? And there's three component pieces to it. You might want to look at it as a three-legged stool. There's the people, the process, and the technology. And too often we see these projects are technology-oriented projects, and in fact they are. It's an implementation of new technology. But remember, you have to make sure that they're aligned with and coordinated with the process piece of it as well. But the most important piece, we think, is the people. If the people are not behind it, then this project will fail. Very frankly, it could be the best piece of software, could be the best cost of the software, the price to value could be wonderful, the process work that we've done is great, but if the end users don't buy into the project, it has a less chance of being successful. So the people piece of it is really, really important to get right. Because that, at the end of the day, that's what we're really talking about, is changing behavior of the people and how we do it. We actually have a saying that changing adult behavior is very, very difficult, and that's what we're trying to do here. Changing successful adult behavior is almost impossible. And that's what we're asking folks to do. They're using some particular process now in some particular software, and we're asking, and they're doing it very well, and they're doing it successfully. And we're asking them to change. We're asking them to change their behavior and do something different. And that's tough for people to handle. So we have to make sure that they're on board. We have to have a process of doing that and make sure that they're bought in, because that will make the project successful down the road.
Okay, so what are some of the areas you should focus your attention on during the change management planning process?
Yeah, the earlier you get people involved in it, the more communication you get people involved in it, it's better. And you will find as you go throughout this that, again, it's important, as I mentioned, the project team initially when you do the evaluation. Well, there's a broader team that kind of spans out from that, the people that are going to be using it. The earlier you start communicating with these people, the earlier you start to talk to them about it, the earlier you start to get buy-in from them. That's really, really important. And it has to be, you're gonna and you'll know it as soon as you start interviewing people. There's going to be some people that buy in and want to change and are looking for the change. And there's some people that are going to be naysayers, and some people are going to be, this is the way I've always done it. It's worked well for me. Why am I changing? And so those are the folks that you really need to pay attention to and get buy-in. And you make them part of the decision-making process. You make them part of the process and what the new process looks like and why we're doing it. So I would say early communication with the people involved, identifying those people that are really supporters of it, champions, sponsors, but also identifying the people that might have a little bit more difficult time in participating with this. So as they go along. So it's important to identify those folks that are going to be affected by it and get them on board early. Okay.
So what are some of the pre-implementation readiness activities that viewers could start today?
Yeah, the identification of those groups. So the pre-implementation is what groups are going to be affected, how much are they going to be affected, and how do we start to communicate this with them? So some of the pre-implementation things are all about communication. So identifying them, who are those people, and let's talk about all the people that are going to be. And I mentioned, horizontally from a senior executives all the way down to the generalists within our organization, who's going to really be affected by this. And then from a vertical standpoint, what functional areas are going to be represented, what technical areas are going to be represented, what business areas, and start to make a list of all of those different areas and the people within those areas. And again, you're not going to be able to talk to everybody, but you're going to want to start to interview people and communicate with people. So what's the method of communicating? You might have I'm making this up, 30 people in a particular area. Well, I'm not sure you can talk to all 30 of them, but you got to communicate to all 30 of them. There's got to be a method of doing that. So identification of the people and identification of what that message is are really, really important before you even do the project kickoff.
All right. Well, thanks, Bill. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.